What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday night, Bass Fishing Live. Wait for everybody to get in here. I'm going to check, see my notification, see if it popped up. Yep, it has. As you can see, John is not with us right now. He is actually on the road. He had to go show a house. If you don't know, John is a real estate agent. Had to go show a house tonight. And he'll be with us in about 10, 15 minutes. If Scott Butler is in here, this is your chance to talk before John gets in here and starts interrupting us. I see Eric Hubbard is watching. Eric, welcome, dude. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. We're going to be talking. It's just going to be me and John tonight. We don't have a guest on tonight, and we're just going to be talking fishing, man. You know, we got the Classic coming up at the end of the month. Red Crest, I think, is in 2 weeks. I'm actually going to pull that up right now. See what the dates look like on that. But John will be here soon. If you're watching, I think we probably got about 10 viewers right now. If you're watching, in the comment section, put where you're watching from. We want to know where you're watching from. If you've not watched this before, I'm from Western Kentucky. Hey, what's up, man? If you just commented, hey Josh, I can't see your name. It says Facebook user. So if you're watching through I think it's the Kentucky Outdoors group, for some odd reason, when you comment, it pops up as just Facebook user. So if that was you, just hey Josh dash, put your name so I know who it is. WO, what's up, man? WO's been burning them up, guys. I was supposed to go fishing with him last weekend, and I actually lost track. This past, when was it? I think Tuesday. It was Wednesday. Wednesday was my first day back to work. What's up, John? What's up, PK? But Wednesday was my first day back to work because I had knee surgery, so I was on con leave for 30 days. And I kind of lost track of days. I really did. I didn't know if it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And me and WO was supposed to go fishing up at Peabody. And I kind of lost track that it was Saturday. And he ended up going anyway. And I think he said, how many fish did you end up catching, WO? I think you said 30, if I'm not mistaken. Water temp on Ken Lake got up to 58 there on Tuesday. So it's happening, guys. It is 100% happening. Water temps are rising. And I'll kind of go over what I've done the past week. I fished that hoodie very tight. It is not tight at all. Last Saturday and Sunday, I fished both days. I did not take any type of radar, like no fish finder, nothing like that. I just took poles, took my lures, basic stuff out of my kayak. And I was fishing with a wacky worm. I threw a chatterbait for a little bit, crankbait, and then I threw a wacky worm. And WO kind of said the same thing that happened to me. Is I went back into a creek and there was a rock pile, and I did not realize it was a rock pile until I got up on it. I could just see one rock coming off the bank right next to a bunch of tree roots that was going into the water. And I was just tossing that wacky worm over there. And my brother John actually had just called me. I put him on FaceTime, sat him down on the kayak, and as soon as he called, I caught one. Cast it again, caught one, and I ended up catching. I think I caught 5 or 6, something like that. Went the next day, did the same thing, caught 5 or 6, and then I went today. Got off work a little early, and went to the same area. Threw a red crankbait this time and caught 5 or 6 more. The fish I'm catching are basically the same size as my bait almost. I'm just throwing a Strike King, like that red. I guess it wouldn't be a demon color, but just orange and red, black on the very top of it, and caught 5 or 6 today, just small fish. But water temps are heating up. It's starting to happen. Let's see here. WO caught 18 keepers on Tuesday. That's a good day. I think that's WO. I think it is. If someone else joined and said that it's a Facebook user, I'm not sure, but I think that's WO. So 18 keepers. That's great, man. 58-degree water temps. That's good. Really good. John said, we'll be there. Will there be a real bass fisherman on tonight or just you? John, we all know. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you go to Facebook and go to Eastern Outdoors Media, go to our videos and tell me how many videos John is in. If you go do it right now, and go look. Don't leave the show. Go on another tab and go look and see how many See how many videos John is in. I can only remember one video ever. So if you want to know who the real bass fisherman is, he knows the answer. He knows. Jimmy, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, man. Always a loyal follower. Really, really appreciate it. Because he's having to run the page. Guys, don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you. He's all talk. He is all talk. Oh, yeah. I was pulling up. Let me see. I'm trying to find when Red Crest is. Just a second. Schedule. I think it's in a week, if I'm not mistaken. Red Crest, it is at Lake Norman, the 8th through the 12th. So that's coming up, what, 7 days? 6 days? So they'll be fishing Red Crest. If you don't know what Red Crest is, it is basically the Bassmaster Classic for Major League Fishing. So hopefully you know what the Bassmaster Classic is. If you don't, I highly suggest you look it up. It's basically the Super Bowl of fishing. But the Classic is for the Elite Series. The Red Crest is for Major League Fishing. Both of them is going to be this month. Lake Norman, like I said, on the 8th, will start Red Crest. The Classic, I might as well go ahead and look that up too. We're actually going to the Classic, and I want to talk about it tonight. We'll wait till John gets in here to kind of touch on it. But the Classic is the 24th through the 26th. Shout out to Hunter Herring. Where'd that go? Shout out to Hunter Herring and Jules Catfish Stink Bait. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I've never used their stuff. John has used their stuff a lot. And he says it stinks and it works. So if you're a big cat fisherman, Jules Catfish Stink Bait, go check them out. Get you some of their stuff. If you want to catch some catfish, that's the way to go. What are you throwing right now? Actually, that's a great question. If you're watching, right now, if you've been fishing, for me, I've been throwing a red crankbait and a wacky worm. I think I was talking to him the other day. He's been throwing a shaky head, if I'm not mistaken, and I think you said like a black and chartreuse flat side crankbait. But hey, if you've been bass fishing, in the comments, let us know, what have y'all been throwing this time of year? What is your go-to bait? While you're all commenting, so the Classic, the 24th to the 26th. Like I said, when John gets here, we'll kind of touch on it a little bit more. Red Crest, I forgot what the location was. I can't remember. Lake Norman. I've actually fished Lake Norman a couple of times. Really good fishery. It can be tough, but it really is a good fishery. You can watch those, both Major League Fishing and the Elite Series, the Classic, on their websites. And I highly recommend, because we have a ton of, let me see, comment. This is WO. 2 of my friends fished Nolan Lake Tuesday. They caught several keepers. The biggest was 3.5 pounds on a jerkbait. I'll tell you, man, a jerkbait this time of year is by far my favorite way to fish. 100%. If I went to Kentucky Lake today, I would only throw a jerkbait. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I went up to Kentucky Lake. And again, I'm stuck on that 5 or 6 number right now. But I caught 5 or 6 on a jerkbait. I only throw it in clear water. I don't, muddy water, which I've been fishing the past week, and today the water is like yoo-hoo. It is super, 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 super muddy. So I've been throwing, chatterbaits, just something, vibrations, black and blues, chartreuse, stuff like that. But I really lost my train of thought there. But I've not caught a 3.5 pounder. I'll tell you that. But a jerkbait, I throw all the time, man. It's one of my favorites. W.O., when you're throwing a jerkbait, what is your favorite jerkbait to throw? Man, for me, honestly, W.O., and that's a great question, man. How deep are you fishing right now? For me, I beat the banks. I really do. Regardless of what time of year it is, I always seem to catch fish beating the banks. It's kind of like we were talking about last week. It's really my confidence booster. I cannot fish deep to save my life. I've tried, and I'm just not very good at fishing ledges, deep points, like secondary points. I'm hoping we can go fishing soon and you can teach me a little bit. But I'm not very good at fishing deep holes, deep water, ledges, secondary points. I'm not good at it. I'm really not. I'm not great. I'm decently okay at reading 2D radar. Not great, but decent. But I'm not confident in it. I like to flip. I like to throw finesse baits. My favorite way is flipping by far. I like to throw, big crawls with a 1/2 ounce weight into bushes and things like that. wacky rigs. I'll even throw in. Actually, I went with. This was probably 2 years ago. I got a buddy. His name's Jackson Perry. He fishes the BFLs. He was on our very first show, and me and him went up to. I'm sure you fished it, Lake Bashir. I think we actually might have talked about it at NWTF, but we went up to Lake Bashir and we're fishing, and he sees me throwing a shaky head into like 2 feet of water. And dude, we killed him that day. I think our best 5 on that lake that day, it was March, it was this time of year, was like 25 pounds. It was a great day. And I just kept ripping him on that shaky head. And he was like, he's from Wisconsin. He's like, dude, I've never seen anyone throw a shaky head in 2 to 3 feet of water. That blows my mind. So, and I ended up almost convinced him to throw the shaky head, but he was catching some good ones too. He left throwing a spinnerbait. He caught like a 5.5 that day off of I think it was a Strike King, like a white chartreuse and yellow spinnerbait. That was his go-to. He loved them. PK, pink jig head, 1/8 ounce. Can't go wrong with just a small jig, man. 100%. One of my favorite things to throw is like just a white curly tail grub. Dude, I'll go to this lake I've been fishing, and if I'm not catching bass off of that within an hour, I've definitely caught a ton of crappie, 100%. Chartreuse grub, that's me. I can't fish deep, awful at it. I'm with you, man, 100%. And I wish I was good at it. I would really like to hit up. I'm sure you all know Matt Robertson, the Wild Man. Man, I love that dude. He's a great dude. He, if you don't know him, he fishes the Elite Series. He's a pro angler on the Elite Series. Lives out here in Western Kentucky, and I would love to go with him on Kentucky Lake. Would love to go with him on Kentucky Lake because he is an awesome ledge fisherman. He's actually fished Bashir and I think Lake Malone, if I'm not mistaken, quite a bit. Him and his buddy. I can't think of his buddy's name either. Guys, if you're just joining us, let us know where you're watching from. John will be with us shortly. I think he commented a while ago, said he was about 5 minutes out. He moves slower than the average human. That's just John. He moves really slow. If you know him, he takes his time. He's not moving anywhere fast. Really slow. So he'll be with us shortly. He had to go show a house today. He's a real estate agent, about an hour from his house. So when he called me and told me to get on here and log in, he was, I think, about 10 minutes away. So
I am here.
There he is.
I am here.
I told you.
The real bass fisherman is here. You know that's true because it's in the title. If you look at my name,
he writes, hey, you type your own name out, just so you know. It's not like someone did it for you. So you can't just
actually. I logged in the program.
Hey, you know what? I've been talking. I'm going to interrupt you tonight. Hey guys, if you're watching right now, comment section. I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is the better bass fisherman, John or Josh? And then after I get those answers, after I get those answers, I'm going to ask another question later in the show.
Gosh.
So John,
I'll tell you what.
We've just been talking.
Guys, it is not a coincidence that this is our lowest viewed show. Lowest viewed show.
Tell them why.
So far out of the 5 episodes.
Fault it is.
Jimmy Carroll says, John, if you can't get here on time, just get here when you can. Jimmy, I got to make a living. I've been out in Carlisle, Kentucky, trying to sell a house to a couple of clients, and hopefully that works. And so that's where I've been, Jimmy. And if any of you or someone you know is looking for a house.
Not one comment on who the better fisherman is. Just take a guess. Who you think, John or Josh?
I know who the most annoying is.
I want to know. Come on. Comment. John, we've been talking about basically bait selection.
Got to make myself get my Perception Outlaw kayak out a lot more this year. Who's riding in a Perception Outlaw kayak? That's what I'm wondering.
Doesn't Mike have a Perception?
I was gonna say, is that Michael?
Mike, if that is you, buddy, you're in the face or you're in the group. Just the
average depth on Ken Lake is 9 feet. There are some deep holes. That is Mikey. Guys, can we just talk about Mike for a second? If you're on here and you've been a fan of the show, Josh, you gonna share this out real quick?
I'm doing it right now. Just I'm gonna cut you off one more time. The reason we had the lowest amount of views is because usually when John is, actually on time, then I get to share everything. You can keep doing that all you want. I'm going to keep talking.
Guys, here's what you don't know.
Other groups.
He's rambling a lot. Here's what you don't know. If you watch us, anytime I say anything out of the way, you can just watch Josh's face. He gets stuck. He just kind of like, oh God, he don't know how to react. One, Josh has a very short fuse, and I can light that fuse quicker than anyone. And I enjoy doing that. So just watching. When I give him a hard time, you'll see him freeze up.
I'm also going to say that John is very relaxed. It's hard to make him mad. Like, for instance, when he was younger, if him and mom got in an argument, he would walk off. For me, I'm giving it right back because I was a disrespectful little punk.
Guys, he got whipped every single day.
Even though I love my mom more than anything, I got whipped every single day because I ran my mouth. However, John doesn't have a short fuse, but if there is one person that can get under his skin, you're looking at it 100%. 100%.
Okay. Are you finished, bro?
Nope. I'm going to talk the whole time just because you always cut me off. Scott Butler wants to hear from me tonight, not you.
He ain't even on here. All right, let's get back to this. Is a Bass Fish Show. Mike says, I love my perception. Super nice kayak, but I need to do way better getting it out. I tell you what, Mike, your wife bought you that kayak, and you've not got your money's worth. And if I was her, I'd be mad. Does anyone? Let me ask. Here's the question I want to know. Looks like we got mostly men in here. We have a few women that will tune in. Billy Outdoors have been coming on. I've missed her the last couple of shows. She wasn't there on Tuesday. She's a good hunter and trapper, fisherwoman, I guess. Sorry, Billy. But let me ask you this. It is springtime. I've got a box of baits down here that I bought from Tackle Warehouse. We're linking up with Hunter Herring. He's sending me some catfish stink bait that I'm going to be using.
Show us what you got.
Hold on a second. Now I want to do a video, like an unboxing on real, but I'll show you some stuff. Okay. And Josh and I are placing an order with Omnia Fishing tonight. Are you open with your spouse? You know, if you're a man, are you open with your wife or husband? Hey, no, I'm just joking. Are you open with them about how much you spend on your fishing and hunting gear? Because, you know, I'm not. I just spend what I want. That's why I had to go sell a house tonight because spring fishing gear is expensive. So do you disclose the amount of money, and are you spending an insane amount of money on oh yeah, I just got some good news on a house I sold last week.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be honest. John already answered. He said no. So
Steven says she don't ask, I don't tell. Here's the thing. I know Steven and his wife. If she asked, if she wanted to know, he'd spill it quick. He would spill it quick. Jimmy says a big fat no. But Jimmy, when you take your wife on these luxury cruises, you can get away with that. Jimmy and his wife just got back from an amazing cruise.
Yeah.
You can see in his profile picture, looks like they danced the night away. Steven is he sold his boat actually. So
John, what do you think about me? Do you think I share it with Tawny on how much I spend?
No.
Well,
no. Actually, I know she knows because she controls the bank account.
So I'll tell you,
she controls the bills and everything.
I'm going to be completely honest here. Completely honest. Money, and not the fact of spending, but the fact that I had the username and password for years for a bank account, just about caused us to get divorced because I was literally every 5 seconds, why are we buying this? Why are we getting this? And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to step away from it and see what happens. I did. And then I realized, like, gosh, you're an idiot. So
your marriage and your life improved.
Now it goes, I go to Tackle Warehouse. I put everything in my cart. And I'll say, babe, it's $300. Okay. And then I hit send. That's it. She has never told me no. Never told me no.
WO said his wife doesn't care. WO sat and talked to us for about 45 minutes while his wife just sat there and watched and looked on. And she was the sweetest little thing. Just a great couple, WO and his wife. Eric has the plan. He said a separate bank account keeps them guessing. They'll never know. Eric, that's what I do. And if it's a big purchase, I'll put it on a credit card, pay it off in a month. Just go with it. So I do have, hold on a second.
I'm blessed, though. Luckily, my wife likes to bass fish as much as I do. So usually when I buy stuff and it's $300, it's always, well, that's fine. But did you get my baby bass Senkos? Every time.
So I did make a big, not a huge order. I think this was a 200. I don't have about a $250 order from Tackle Warehouse, and it's all my finesse fishing stuff for the
Show us
spring.
one
I
thing.
got
One
four,
thing.
huh?
Show us one thing, one bait.
I'm showing you all of it. I got 4 spools of Seagar Red Label. Now that's not the top Seagar brand,
though.
and Vizex is the top, but Red Label works perfect for me on all my reels, spinning reels or casting reels. I run braid and then a fluorocarbon leader, so that's really all I need.
What knot do you tie?
Huh?
What knot do you tie? For your
Alberta
leader?
knot.
Alberta.
All the time. Easy. It's strong. It's easy. Uni knot is popular, but I don't like it. Guys, here is what I think is one of the best kept secrets in finesse fishing. You know what it is, Josh?
Yep.
What?
Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl.
No, this is one of the best kept secrets.
Oh, I thought you're talking about terminal tackle.
This is VMC Finesse Rugby Jig, 1/8 ounce. It allows you to flip and pitch a smaller bait into hard to reach areas without getting hung up. Like Nathan says here, patience, best kept secret.
Yep.
This allows you to have patience. I'll throw this anywhere with an Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl on it or with a Cinco on it, and I will catch fish in any fishery. Josh could tell you. Here's the thing. There's been times where it's been a hard catch, and maybe we're on Malone or Bashir or Kentucky Lake, and I've caught a lot of fish on that. Josh, probably more than any other bait we've used combined. What do you think?
Are you talking about the rugby hook with your speed or your
with my speed crawls? Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably that and a Ned rig, man. You've caught not me. I'm not going to sit here and say that I have. I do not use. I use this Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl a lot, but I do not use the VMC hooks, the rugby hooks very often. But they're great because they're weedless. They really are good.
I love them.
I've always bought shaky heads off of Bite Me Baits from Chad Haynes, and I love his shaky heads. That's usually what I go with.
The reason I like these, I don't like screw lock. I hate screw lock heads, and I don't like using a separate weight.
Yeah,
because it's just a hassle. This is the best of both worlds.
I agree with that, and it's good. It's also good with the because you love throwing Z-Man products.
Yeah,
and it really goes good if you don't have Ned heads. It really goes good.
I don't like it. I don't like this with a Ned rig. I just unplugged my computer, but I got battery. I don't like this with a Ned rig because it limits the action. They're not long enough. All right, the next thing. Do you guys go into every fishing season trying to learn a new technique? Do you do that, Josh?
Every year.
Are you trying to learn something new, maybe get better at something specifically? I know Josh this year is going all in, probably started this last year on a jerkbait in clear water. That's something I've done a little bit of. I'm not really interested. It's just not my style of fishing. I would like to get better at swim bait fishing.
Actually,
just a little contact on a jig head. But here's one thing I'm going all in on in 2023. A lot of people, this is their favorite thing to throw. This is a Terminator 3/8 ounce spinnerbait double willow blade. I have never been a big spinnerbait guy, but people throw me around. I know that Eddie Endicott's on here sometimes. He's a big spinnerbait guy. I'm sure some of you guys are spinnerbait fans. I've just never stuck to them. I'll throw them. Kobe Burkhart. Kobe Burkhart's a real bass fisherman. We're talking about real bass fishermen. I started talking about that. Josh left. That makes sense. Kobe Burkhart, you can tell by his profile picture. He gets it done right there. And he said he's been killing them on his spinner baits. Kobe, go ahead and plug your page there and let us know where to get them. But I ordered these from Tackle Warehouse. I've never been a guy that just sticks to the spinner bait. I will throw it 10 casts, put it up.
No patience.
So I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out this year, and I'm going to make myself probably start with my kayak and some of the rivers around here. Elkhorn Creek is a good one. I'm going to make myself stick to the spinnerbait.
What is that?
That's a Terminator Pro Series P1 stainless steel spinnerbait double willow blade. The double willow blade, I think, is where it's at unless you're in really muddy water. I think last week John Smith mentioned the double Colorado blade in muddy water because of the vibration and sound. And so I got the double willow blade because if it's real muddy, I'm not throwing that anyway. Kobe has Kobe's a young guy. He's a great bass fisherman. He's another Harlan County guy like us. And you can check his page out, Burkhart's Bad Bass Baits. B4.
I'm going to hit on this comment real quick from Mike because, I've had this same problem. I hit banks like Josh does. I just don't ever catch fish or get hits. Feel like I'm in or around them. Don't know if I'm just missing or not using correct action. And everybody's going to have a different opinion on this because definitely this time of year, people struggle. I've struggled for a long time. 5 fish, I'm not kidding you. If I go fishing for 4 or 5 hours and 5 fish, this time of year is a really good day for me. It really is.
5 fish right now?
Maybe not 6 inches, but I'm good with it just because I'm learning. I'm catching fish. And for me, Mike, and this is for everybody. I'm no professional. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm an average, maybe a little above average. But for me, man, I just stick to what I know because a lot of people go offshore, and that is where you're going to get your big schools of fish during this time of year. You're going to get your bigger fish probably offshore, bigger schools of them, and you're just going to catch more. For me, I'm a shallow water guy all the time. Today, went fishing, and I beat the banks. I'll catch myself all of a sudden. I'll see a fish jump out in the middle, and I'm like, dude, I got to fish deep. And then like 3 casts in, I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm not getting any bites. I do not feel confident doing it whatsoever, and I know I'm not going to catch anything. But for some reason, I'm out there doing it. So I immediately turn around and I hit the banks. And I think what a lot of people need to do is exactly what I done last week when you FaceTime me, John, is go extremely simple. Go like as basic as you can go. Like not just – my buddy Jackson just texted me. He said they had a 38-pound stringer today in Florida. That's impressive.
Hey, did you tell him that you started catching fish once I got on the phone with you?
I told him to go check out all of our bass fishing videos.
I heard that, but no, seriously. You hadn't caught any fish. I'm being serious. I'm not giving you a hard time. You hadn't caught any fish that day. It was a great day because this is the same day that Kentucky played Auburn. I just had the mojo that day, guys. I had the juice. Josh, I FaceTimed Josh. He's like, man, it's slow. I've not caught a fish. Oh, there's a bite. He caught 4 fish in a row once I got on the phone with him. I didn't give him any tips. I didn't tell him what to do. If he would have asked, I would have told him. It's just I had the juice. And then that night, I wasn't watching the Kentucky-Auburn game. I turned it on. Auburn was up by 1, and we won by 30-something. I had the juice that day. Last night, didn't have it.
I will say this. When I talked to you earlier, I was going fishing. And in my mind, I was thinking, you know what? I'm throwing a red square bill today. That's what I'm throwing. I called John. I'm like, hey, what do you think I should throw today? And he said,
red crankbait.
Red crankbait. Threw it. I caught 5 or 6 today, somewhere around there. Good day of fishing for me, man. I only went fishing like 2 hours today, too.
Listen, we got 30 minutes left. We don't have many viewers, but the viewers we do have, I would love to get more interaction here, talk to you guys, want to know what you're doing. We don't have a guest tonight. I reached out to a few. I think most of them are taking a break before their tournaments become weekly. Yeah. And as WO said, this is our 5th episode. And this thing's going to grow, but tonight's a little slow. So here's what I want to know. We talk to a lot of people, whether it's guys we're friends with, whether it's the pros we try to have on our shows, and they all fish different brands. So I know Zoom is popular for a lot of people. Do you have a favorite go-to brand that you just don't get away from? Younger guys love the Guggen baits. If you're from small towns like me and Josh, you probably grew up buying Zoom at Walmart for dirt cheap. I've got 4 here these are the 4 brands I bought from Tackle Warehouse. Some of them because I've used in the past and I believe in them. Some of them because I've heard other guys believe in them and I wanted to try them out. So I bought two different brands of these stick baits, what we call Cincos. This is the tried and true Gary Yamamoto.
What's up, Jackson?
these were on sale at Tackle Warehouse for like $5.50 a pack.
Yeah.
At Walmart, they're like $8 and something. So I bought several packs of, and we usually stick to 2 colors: green pumpkin with some kind of flake. These are black flake. Sometimes I like purple flake. Sometimes my favorite color in Zoom is green pumpkin gold, because I think in clear water, like a place like Laurel Lake, it just has done really well for me. But you can't go wrong with the Yamamoto Cinco. But we've had so many people on this show, from Jordan Lee to Keith Poche, and guys we've had on the other show who like the Berkeley General.
Yep.
So I bought the Berkeley General. So the 2 Cincos I'm using are the Yamamotos and the Berkeley General. Now, you guys have probably seen Z-Man. If you're a Ned Rig guy, Z-Man is probably what you do. But this is a little different. Josh likes these. We love these. Does anyone here, do you fish creeks and rivers? Because these are killer on creeks and rivers. And these are the Z-Man hula sticks.
That's in my Omnia shopping cart right now, baby.
Z-Man hula sticks. I'm gonna pull one out to show you here. Now, here's the thing with the Z-Man.
They're great.
Has anyone not used Z-Man? Because this right here, let me see. You see it there?
A little bit over.
There we go. So this is not a great big Cinco, and it's got this right there. You can see the little hula at the top.
Yep.
Man, that action, when you got that flowing water through the rivers and the creeks, me and Josh one time using only hula sticks, we caught 87 bass in one trip. And that was mostly smallmouth with some rock bass tied in. And you can
and I'm going to plug this too. Not only was it on one type of bait, but I almost bet that we did not use more than 1 to 2 of those.
So the awesome thing about the only time we had to change out bait is after we've caught about 30 each, or if we get them stuck, we have to break off. The Z-Man, the Elastec, look at that. You just can't destroy it. You can't destroy it. So hula sticks, if you find these at Walmart or Bass Pro or Cabela's or Academy, or you buy them on Tackle Warehouse, the Z-Man hula sticks, if you're fishing skinny water, I'm telling you, I've even cut them down with a pair of pliers or scissors where they're just about that tall. And they also make the TRD hula. I don't know if they call them the hula sticks, but the TRD ticklers that have that at the top. Yeah. And I'll tell you what I do with the Ned rig. If we're fishing, let's say I have my kids with me and we're fishing a place that has a lot of bluegill, I will cut a Ned rig. It's already small. I will cut it in half, put it on a tiny little Ned head, and the bluegill will my girls will destroy the bluegill on them. So Kobe says the hula sticks are awesome. Offshore baits for small.
I guarantee. I would love to, and Kobe, you know exactly where I'm talking about around Harlan, man. Those small creeks, so much fun to fish, dude. Hula sticks and flukes have always been. Well, hula sticks later on, but flukes were always like when I was younger. Fluke,
they were
love a fluke. But dude, those hula sticks, dude, I would like to do some offshore fishing. Kobe, you need to take me, man. You need to take me smallmouth fishing offshore. Teach me how to do some offshore fishing.
Kobe is, I think Kobe's in Richmond. I need to take Kobe. So here's another.
Jackson Perry's watching from Florida. Jackson, I just seen your text in the comments there, man. Tell us where you're fishing at in Florida and what you've been using and how your day went today, man. I seen you all caught a huge stringer today. So also, Mike, no one has responded to my question yet.
Hold on a second. We're talking about these baits, and then we'll get back to it. Keith says, could you cut a 5-inch stick like that? So, like, are you saying, Keith, could you take a 5-inch stick bait and cut like the ends of it to where it'll be fringed like that? I don't know. I think it'd probably fall apart. Kobe's back in Harlan. Never mind, Kobe. I can't take you. That's too far. Just kidding. But this is another. I love the Z-Man for Ned Rig, but this is one that I love too. This is a Mission Baits. I'll show you the cover.
I'm not a fan of those.
I said Mitchell, but I said Missile. You said you're not?
No.
Well, you're crazy. This is a Missile Baits. The first time I used this exact color, which is green pumpkin, pink tail, I caught the very first time I used it. I was at Cedar Creek Lake in Kentucky, Stanford, Kentucky, and I caught a 3-pound bass off a stick up. First time I used it. These are great. I like to get them with a different color, just so the fish have something to target. They have great action. The only downside is they're not as durable as the Z-Man, but these are great. So Keith, I think Walmart used to carry the hula sticks. If they don't have them, I would buy them online. I don't think you could get away with cutting the end of one like that. Josh, I think Josh has left twice. He must have some bowel issues. Jackson said he's fishing at Meanderchuck Lake, 38-pound stringer by 10 a.m. Holy cow. I've never had a day that good. Power bait, chigger crawl, and ultra vibe speed crawl zoom trick worm for shaky head. Bought some biz bait to try shaky head this year and robo worm for drop shot. I like the robo worm. I feel like they're not as durable as some others. Biz baits they have a great product. I know this is WO. Biz baits have a great product. I love the biz bait Ned Dizzy. Is that what it's called, Josh?
What is it?
Biz bait Ned Dizzy.
It is the Dizzy, yeah.
It's a really good Ned rig. The Diamond, I can't think of all the Diamond Dizzy or something like that. Their stick bait's really good. I love the Biz Baits plastics. I don't know about the Power Bait Chigger Crawl. Never used it. Ultra Vibe Zoom Speed Crawl is just my go-to. I have to have 5 packs at least in my boat every time.
Yeah, he gets hung up a lot, so he's got to have a lot of them.
Well, I do. No, honestly, with that, I do get hung up, but because I'm confident in throwing it anywhere.
Right.
And if you don't recheck, if I don't check that Zoom crawl on there every time, and my hook comes through, I lose it. Josh, what was your question? The Mag Dizzy. Yeah, that's it.
My question was before you cut me off.
No, I was in the middle of talking about these 4 packs.
You've been in the middle of this for 45 minutes now.
I've only been on here for way less than that.
Okay. Anyways, Mike, nobody's answered my question, and I want your honest opinion because you know me and John better than anyone else in here. He's got the real bass fisherman on his name. Mike, who's the better?
You're still doing this.
Who is the better bass fisherman? Let's hear it.
We're past it.
I'm not past it.
It was just for show. Gosh, see, he gets butt
God,
hurt.
does he not bring it up every week? If it was just for show, he wouldn't bring it up every week. So be honest with me, Mike. Don't lie and answer the question.
Mike is like my daughter. When I say who's your favorite teacher at school, she says, I like them all. I say, you don't like all your teachers.
That's not the answer, Mike. That's
hey, a little off subject here. Let's answer this. Hey, a little off subject, but my son has a high school bass tournament on Cave Run next weekend. Any suggestions? Mark, it'd be better if it's a crappie tournament because that lake is not a very good bass fishing lake, to be honest.
Who do you know that fishes up there?
A lot of those Eastern Kentucky guys do, like the tournament trail guys. Mark, I don't know. It's a great Cave Run is the premier destination for muskie fishing. Yeah. In the winter, when all the northern lakes are iced over, people come down to Cave Run to muskie fish. March and April, a great time for muskie fishing too. There, I can't give you any advice on bass fishing at Cave Run. I'm trying to think of somebody who can. Mike says, ask Joe Carter. I don't think Joe Carter's on here.
Jackson,
Cave Run, guys?
I want to ask Jackson real quick. Jackson, can I show the photo that you just sent me? Are you good with that?
Send it to me on Messenger, and I'll share it. Everybody can see it.
Make sure he's good with it first, dude. He caught a monster today on this lake. 10 pounds, 7 ounces.
Oh, wow.
Monster, dude. He said we can share it. Cool. I'm sending to you in Messenger now.
Hey, so here's what WO said. Well, Josh, you should be better. I believe you fish a lot more. But John says he always catches more when you two go together, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not lying. I usually do catch more bass. Now, you might catch a bigger one.
I've caught more fish this year so far than he's caught in the past year and a half. And his excuse is going to be, oh, my boat was broke. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I didn't go. Whatever. Listen, 2022 was the worst year of my life. Not even close. Like, it's 2022 at the bottom. So I never went fishing. I didn't have time. I'm just saying we're out there together. I
Hey,
usually do catch
also,
more fish.
I've got another picture I'm gonna send you real quick if I've still got it.
I don't think I got it, the first one you sent.
I'll send it to you on Messenger.
I know one. I'm really wanting to get out to Peabody and hit some of those strip pits. Okay, Josh, it just came through.
That is a
Soon.
monster, dude.
Just settle it all on the Potomac this year. Eric, I tell you, I don't know. Josh's schedule is not as flexible as mine because the Army can be a little strict. But I want to get up there bad, Eric. I really do.
I do too, man.
Could we, Eric, is a 3-day, if I come up there for 3 days, is that enough? Like, is that enough to get the full effect? Hold on, Josh, I'll bring it up. Guys, I'm willing to go anywhere east of the Mississippi to fish or hunt. If you need a partner, you need somebody to go, and it's not going to cost me a mortgage, I'm willing to go anywhere.
And then you were talking about my jerkbait. I've been trying to learn it using a jerkbait over the past, year and a half.
I'm terrible at that.
I'm sending John a picture right now of the very first fish I caught in 2023 on a jerkbait on Kentucky Lake.
There's Jackson Perry. That's a nice little fish.
10 pounds, 7 ounce.
I love the color of that.
Monster fish, dude. Huge. Insane.
I guess Wisconsin's still frozen up there.
I don't know if it is. Is Jackson, is it still frozen up? I'd assume it is probably.
Can everybody see that?
I think him and his dad took a trip down there.
Okay, Mike said nice fish. That is a nice. I love the how dark it is.
I do too.
Those fish, Josh, those fish you were catching the other day at that lake you were on, oh, they were almost transparent. I mean, they were man. They were so white. Let's see. Now let's show the one that Josh.
This is my first catch of 2023 Kentucky Lake on a jerkbait. Almost a PB. Like this close to being a PB. Super proud of this fish. Worked hard for it.
You can tell he's blowing it up. This is literally Josh used a jerkbait. It's really impressive that he caught this fish on a jerkbait, honestly.
It really is.
It's more impressive than Jackson's. If I can share it here.
Come on, dude.
But it weighs less.
It's waiting, dude. Come on.
I'm building suspense. It weighs less than Jackson's.
Nearly the size of my treble hook.
Yeah, it's not even the jerkbait is much larger. That looks, just from the photo angle, that jerkbait looks like it's 2 ounces.
And dude, I don't know. I'm not sure what kind of fish it is.
You may know what kind of fish. Well, it has to be a little.
I don't know. I have no idea. I cast it along the bank in this rock pile, and as I was jerking it, like the first time I jerked it, obviously these right here, they jumped out of the water, and I'm working that bait, and I get it back to me, and it's on there. And it was like 2 casts later, I ended up catching one. I don't know what that is.
So that was his first fish of 2023. I'm going to go soon.
This is not moonshine, everybody. I get that all the time.
And I'm going to go fishing soon, and we'll see. And I will compare it to my first fish of 2023.
Yeah, well, why don't you show them my personal best against your personal best?
Well, why don't I tell everybody where you catch those big fish so they can go there too?
Go here. You know what? I was thinking about this the other day. So, guys, the debate on live scope, right? And John, don't interrupt me. Live scope.
Jackson didn't say anything.
So everybody says live scope this, live scope that. And John has said, we can go back and watch videos. Just because you have it and you see them, don't mean you can catch them. Well, guys,
that's what everybody says.
2 small lakes in western Kentucky that have giants. If you want to go, message me right now. In about 3 weeks, that place is going. I'll take you, but I will 100% take you. 100%. I'm telling you, monsters. But just because they're there, don't mean you can catch them, John boy.
Josh, what isn't it, Joe? Your face is red, and
you just got me fired up, dude.
I don't think you can use a live scope down in those lakes, can you, Jackson? They're too shallow and too much stuff in.
If I was a man, Jackson was on the banks flipping a bush or some grass and smack.
That's all there is to do down there is flip grass.
My kind of fishing, man. my kind of fishing.
Eric says 3 days up there is good. Eric, where exactly will we be putting in? Is it Maryland? Is it Virginia? I know we've talked about this before, but I can't remember. Eddie says come to Barron. I'm guessing that's Eddie. The National Bass Tournament, it's like NBTA, National Bass Tournament Association, something like that he runs. WO says he can go to Peabody anytime. I tell you what, I would love to go fishing tomorrow, but we're going to get some crazy storms. Don't go out there tomorrow. Don't go out fishing tomorrow.
It's going to be crazy here in about an hour or two.
Lee Sylvania. Wow, look at this. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Virginia, I got the hiccups. Lee Sylvania State Park. That is the new one.
At first, I thought you was trying to say Lee Livesey.
Lee Livesey, no.
Great fishing.
Bashir Lake, Mark. Bashir Lake's one of my favorite lakes in Kentucky.
Me and Jackson Perry, the guy that was just up on the screen there with that big 10-pounder from today, went up there. I want to think it was either 2 or 3 years ago. Dude, we had our best 5 was like 25 there. It's a great fishery.
Eddie runs the NTBA, the National Tournament Bass Association. I don't know what the T stands for, but opens this Saturday. Well, you're definitely fishing post-frontal conditions.
I want to give a shout out too. I wish I had all my fishing rods in here, but the ones I took today, it's actually in the truck. I know a lot of you guys, you're from Central Kentucky, Western Kentucky, some from Tennessee, a couple different areas, but a buddy of mine, Houston Tittle, I don't know how exactly it happened. I can't remember, but he basically got the molds and everything to start making his own fishing rods.
The blank.
Yeah, the blanks. There you go. And he started making fishing rods probably about 6 months ago. And, dude, they're amazing. They are so good. I can't remember. I could have swore he said that they were similar to G. Loomis or St. Croix or something like that, blanks. I don't remember exactly, so don't hold me to that. But I will tell you this. I know this for sure. I've fished with it all year so far. I've caught fish on it. 100% it's durable. And I swear to you, dude, I've never had a fishing rod. I'm not just saying this. I got this rod. He gave it to me for free. So it's like, he's a good buddy of mine, but I always give an honest review. Dude, I can literally feel it's insane. And what I like is I like a split grip on my fishing rods. I don't like a full cork rod or anything like that. I like a split grip. And, dude, I can literally feel everything down to the very end on the split grip. It is insane how much I can feel on that fishing rod. Really good rods. You can check him out, Houston Tittle, F3 Fishing Rods. I don't know if he has a website or a Facebook page yet, but if you're interested, he's making anything you want, he'll make it. Just hit me up. He'll customize it for you, put whatever you want on it.
Can he make like the rod different colors?
Oh, yeah. I asked him. I wanted mine purple because of Dad, and he said, you got it, and he made it purple and black for me. So he can design it how you want it. They're so nice.
Does he have a Facebook page or anything?
I don't think he does.
He's M3 rods?
Yeah, he's still getting started. And the other thing, dude, I'm all about backing not just local dudes, but also backing someone for who they are. F3 stands for faith, family, and fishing. If that doesn't tell you who he is right there.
Oh, it's F3 rods. I thought you said M.
No, Fox. F3 rods. If you want a rod, I don't know if you can order one or not. I don't think you can. However, you can contact me if you want one. Really, I wish I had it in here to show you. Super nice rods. Super, super nice rods. Hit me up. Whatever action and all that good stuff, power behind, whatever. I can hook you up and talk to them and get you some rods.
Did you
They're good. They're really, really good.
Can he make any size, like any action and any power?
Yep.
Tennessee Bassmaster says hello. Hey, Tennessee Bassmaster. He's our youngest viewer right now, I think. 14-year-old Bass Slayer. Tennessee, we're going to be down there in Knoxville in a few weeks. Actually, in 3 weeks exactly. We're going to be down there in Knoxville.
At the Classic,
the best anglers in the world battle it out for $300,000 and a chance at just to be a bass fishing legend.
Tennessee Bassmaster.
We do need. Go ahead.
I don't remember, man, exactly. I want to say.
It's a good question.
I think it's 75 to 100. It's somewhere in there, but I'm telling you, man, it's not like you're buying. It's not like you're going to Walmart and buying the 1999 rod that's a Shakespeare. Like it's quality stuff, man. It's good stuff. If you're interested, hit me up. I'll talk to him, see what we can do, ship you some rods. Hit me up. Let me know.
We need your buddy Houston Tittle.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get Houston on here. We need to say, Houston, I want some custom-made Eastern Outdoors rods, and we want to deal. We need a good deal on them because we're going to have them on here. We're going to promote them. We're going to get them out to hunt. You know, if we catch fish with them and put videos up, they'll be seen by tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people as we share that out. So
I already talked to him about coming on the show, and he said he would anytime.
We need him to go live from his workshop.
He will. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you guys be interested to see how these rods are made? I think that'd be great.
I think it'd be cool.
Faith Family Fishing. That's 3 things I can get behind right there.
Exactly, man. He told me F3 rods or custom rods or something like that. And we talked about it for a while, and I walked off, and I was like, what does F3 stand for? So I went back, and I was like, what's F3 mean? He said, Faith Family Fishing, man. And he's an Eastern Tennessee boy. He grew up on Cherokee. He grew up on Norris. Good dude.
Tennessee Bassmaster says, see you at the Classic Tennessee. I'll sign your jersey, man. You just come find me. I'll sign your jersey. I'm joking. I tell you, I will, but I mean, it's not worth anything.
No, it'll probably lose value.
It would be funny. It would lose. It would lose value. I tell you, Beaver says, I'll tell you a good custom rod made by Charlie Rustler. Hit him up and he'll fill you in on details. Charlie Rustler, Chuck Rustler. Mike is definitely interested in those rods. Rick says that's a great idea. I think it's a great idea too. Live from the workshop. How do you make a rod? How do you use the blank? Yeah. Is it a carbon rod? Is it a glass rod? Whatever. Yeah. I would definitely like a couple from him. So hit him up.
We'll see how many I can get, and then we'll work on getting you some for sure.
Okay. You're just really wanting to argue tonight. I'm just not. I just want to do the show. Hey, you don't know how old I am, Eddie. Eddie, did I talk about your age? He said, you don't know how old I am, Eddie. Eddie, I think you're probably in your 30s, like me. I don't know. I'm just going to
tell you what, Mike. You want to design your own baits, man. It is super easy, actually. From what I talked to Chad Haynes about it at Bite Me Baits because what I'd like to do is, man, I go through a lot of plastics, and I would like to, when one's destroyed, keep those, melt those back down, get some molds, reuse that instead of just continuing to buy plastics over and over and over. So I've actually thought about getting my own molds. Literally, if you look at them on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, dude, they just melt it down in the microwave, get the injector, put it in the mold. I don't know, 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, they got new plastic. So,
yeah, but there's a lot that goes into that too, though, because you got to get the salt right. Like, I've heard stories of Gary Yamamoto, who has the best Cinco on the market, and he's out there testing them, making sure the fall action is right. All that. So I don't know.
You're talking about like the fine details of what makes a Yamamoto, but just to make plastics, like, is not very difficult. But you're right. The salt value that's added. I don't know how ElizTech has made it, but you can literally buy a bucket of the plastics and make them.
Eddie was saying, I said Tennessee was the youngest. He's 14, Eddie. I knew you was older than that. And he said, you don't know how old I am. Tennessee is an Eastern Tennessee boy. We're Eastern Kentucky boys. Where are you from, Tennessee? Let's see. Mark said, yeah, that's crazy. So Mark's son has a high school tournament on Cave Run. He was asking about it. Kobe said you could get disqualified for that because he almost did. Mark said, yeah, it's crazy. I'm still open for any info I can get. If they DQ my boy for something like that, I don't want to be part of what they got going on anyway. So, hey, we'll keep it a secret, Mark.
That part. DQ for what?
For getting information beforehand. I would say that is at a big, like, national tournament.
Yeah.
Big national.
I'm not
Mark
sure.
said he took a guide trip on Chickamauga. His guide caught a rod and a reel. The reel was a Corrado and the rod was custom made. He offered me the rod. I cleaned it up, and now it's my favorite rod.
Dude,
Mark, that's worth the trip, man.
one of the funniest things. I'm going to tell a quick story, and you can actually go watch it on our YouTube page.
You're not. Here's the thing. This story he's about to tell was one of the funniest moments of my life, but you guys aren't going to find it as funny as you might not even find it funny at all.
Dude, it was hilarious though.
So it was great.
So we went to a small fishery or a creek. It's called Drake's Creek. It's in, I think it's south of Bowling Green.
It's near Bowling Green.
So we go fishing and have a great day. We ended up flipping our kayaks that day.
Both of us.
It was still, we caught like 80 something smallmouth. It was an awesome day. It really
I went through, hold on. I went through this little, there was a tree that was down, and then so there's a tree down on the bank, and the right side of the creek was very shallow. So you had to go beside the tree, and the water was very swift. So I just hit it, and when I did, the front of my kayak got stuck on the tree, and I flipped. All my fishing stuff, everything went all down the creek. I had to go and get it back. And Josh was laughing at me. So he hops in his kayak and takes off and does the exact same thing. That was the first funny moment, which wasn't really funny at the time. It was funny when you did it. It wasn't funny when I did it.
And I was about to say the exact same thing. Dude, just watching you flip was hilarious.
The best part was my phone. I was like, dude, I lost my phone. And my net was floating, and I grabbed my net. When I pulled my net up out of the water, my phone was in it. It was the most amazing moment of my life.
Anyways, so we flip our kayaks. We ended up going through some tunnels. Actually, we had to carry our kayaks around the tunnels because our kayaks wouldn't go through. And it's getting to the end of the day. And dude, when I get tired, I just get cranky. It was super hot that day. I wasn't in the best of moods because when I just bought some St. Croix rods. Yeah. And the tip of it broke on my 610, or I think it's a 6.8 medium. The tip of it broke when I flipped my kayak over. I'm like, whatever, they got a good warranty. I've got another rod. So we keep going, and we get to this deep hole. And all of a sudden, I get hung up, and I'm cussing, pissed off that I'm hung up.
It's very emotional.
Super aggravated. Well, I set my fishing rod down between my legs, and John was right next to me, and I can't remember what we were doing. You go watch the video, dude.
We were just standing there. We were just sitting. This was before we were decent at making videos, so it's not the best video in the world, but it's entertaining.
It's definitely, you should go watch it. Just skip through the part where I talk for like 10 minutes about a bunch of crap and get to the action.
You've already dealt with that tonight.
So the rod's between my legs. I'm not clenched down on or anything. It's
just sitting on your kayak.
It's just sitting on my kayak between my legs, and it's stuck. Well, I'm sitting there talking to John, and I got mad about something. I said, stupid, pull me in. And he grabs my hand and jerks me in my kayak towards him. And when he jerks me, my fishing rod, where it was stuck, the line
just takes off.
It just over right to the water. And, dude, I got out the biggest jerkbait I could find. And it took forever, but we finally fished it out of like that 10, 20-foot hole.
Oh, man, that was fun. That wasted a lot of our time, too, though.
It did. Well, it was towards the end of the day.
I've got a question. Oh, Tennessee's, he lives right down there on Chickamauga. So Mike said, and I don't want to ask, I'm not asking Josh, I'm not asking Mike, I'm asking the people who are watching. Mike said we need to do a show where we're all just talking fishing and smoking cigars. So one thing that we talk about that, Mike is a big cigar guy. We're really not, but we're big bourbon guys. I mean, I've got like a sip of Blanton's left that I'm going to finish after this show.
Good stuff.
Yeah. It's what kind of horse do I have here? An H? A T. It's a T if you need a T. So Josh and I are bourbon guys. Not really beer drinkers, but we'll have one. Mike's a cigar guy. John Allen's a bourbon and beer guy. He likes those IPAs. If he wasn't such a tough mother, I would make fun of him. But
one of the toughest, man.
He's one of the toughest guys you'll ever meet, so I won't. Would people be interested if we took this page? It is fishing and hunting and trapping and outdoors, but if we also added in some just man, like things that men enjoy, like bourbon, like cigars, and we had some of that content. Would people be interested, or would they say stick to the outdoors, or stick to fishing, or stick to hunting? But what if we had some bourbon content? I live right next to
We
Buffalo
got
Trace,
someone
5
that
minutes.
said, Gentleman Jack. Is that UWO?
Robert James says IPAs taste like grass. I was thinking something much worse than that, Robert. Honestly, if I drink a beer, it has to be a dark, stout beer.
I'll drink some beer. I'm just not a
I
huge.
think I'm German.
Only reason I don't like drinking it, I don't mind the taste. It's just the dude. It gets me so beer logged. I guess
Eddie said the Gentleman Jack. So I'm just curious. Do you think that's something that people would be interested in if we had more like, I don't know a term to use for it, but more like, guys hanging out stuff, like just bourbon, beer, cigars. What else? What else do we like to dabble in? Yeah, I wouldn't get into sports because that's way too much.
Yeah.
Well, that would be like a separate page, which we could do that all day long.
We are technically into sports. Major League Fishing's a sport.
Well, hunting's a sport. I mean, archery. Yeah. Beaver says Eastern Panhandle Outdoors is my page. Could you give a shout out to Berkeley Springs, West Virginia High School Fishing Club? They're having a vendors fishing show. Sorry, it went away. They're having a vendors fishing show Saturday, March 11th. All kinds of fishing and turkey hunting vendors, news, new and used, local bait companies, turkey call builders, plus much more. I'll be there at the EPO table with baits, etc. Thanks, guys. Beaver, our mom works at Harlan ARH Hospital, but she also works for the Berkeley ARH Hospital remotely. So that's how I knew that name. So yeah, if you're in Eastern Kentucky, Western West Virginia, Eastern Panhandles Outdoors, go check out Beaver's page. Beaver's kind of new to our page, and we're so glad to have him.
Not sure if it's WO or if it's Eddie said stick to the outdoors, but throw in the other stuff. That's absolutely what
we're doing. Yeah, that's what we mean.
We would throw some stuff in, like a little bit of bourbon, some cigars. But our thing is we like to kill stuff. We like to catch stuff.
Well, we like to have a bourbon or a cigar after we've killed a deer or a turkey or had a long day fishing. Right. The only other thing I can think of is snacks. We love snacks.
Beef jerky, baby.
Oh, man. So, yeah, check out Beaver's page, Eastern Panhandle Outdoors. If you're in the area, check out the Berkeley Springs, West Virginia High School Fishing Club and their show next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Mark, we'd have to leave off the women part, brother. It's all four of us at Eastern Outdoors Media are married. So
for now, married for now.
Bourbon, beer, and cigars, all for it, but women's not allowed.
Robert says bourbon, cigars, and guns. Here's the thing: guns is something I want more of. I just don't want to get the page.
Mark said, "Me too."
I don't want to get the page shut down, so we try not to show too many guns. But obviously, right now in this room, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I actually have one sitting on the counter in the kitchen right now that I'm trying to fix the scope on. It's unloaded. It's not loaded. My girls have had a lot of conversations about guns. But so, yeah, we love guns. And America. We love America.
Heck yeah, we do.
I don't drink alcohol, Diet Coke, or coffee. Hey.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I
love
drink more Coke Zero and water than anything.
The question is, W, and I feel like I already know the answer to this. Do you put creamer in your coffee or do you drink it black?
He definitely drinks it black.
Me too.
W.O. drinks it black.
Black
coffee's not for taste. It's for effect.
Oh, yeah. Black coffee's the way to go.
Bourbon, beer, cigars, and women. Josh answered that already. Tell Beaver Hole next time we go up to West Virginia to see my family. I was born there. Love to check them out. So there you go. Maybe recruit Tennessee Bassmaster up to be on the Berkeley Springs page. Excalibur, Maduro's, Brick House are also good. I know nothing about cigars. I've never had one, never tried one. Really not interested in one, but if Mike is there doing it, I'll try it. He takes his coffee black. We will not make any jokes about that. Coffee black straight up. Mike drinks one coffee before we go hunting and pees every 5 minutes. What is everyone throwing this weekend in the rising, cold, muddy water? I've got 5 houses to show Saturday morning, and then I actually have a speaking engagement. I have to speak at a wild game dinner in Estill County Saturday night, so I'm not throwing anything.
For me,
and I got a farm on Sunday I got to show, so I got busy.
For me, Eddie, I'll probably be throwing – I've always got a Senko tied on. It'll be a black and blue Senko of some sort, whether I'm flipping it or wacky rigging or Texas rigging, however. And the other 2 baits I'll have for sure a red crankbait and a black and blue chatterbait. 100%.
Mark says he is addicted to Monster Energy drinks. Mark, every time Josh and I go fishing, we get a Monster Energy drink and usually a bag of combos. I like the pepperoni combos.
I had a serious issue.
But I was getting ready to say, Josh had to quit energy drinks because he about died.
Yeah, I had a serious issue with Monster Energy drinks, man, because really,
what was your heart rate?
My own fault. I went. I had an issue because I drink 1 a day, and sometimes I drink 3 a day. It's just how tired I was, and I got an appointment at a doctor, and I get there, and I sit down, and she's watching the monitor, checking my blood pressure, and she just keeps.
Tell us exactly what she said.
She just keeps sitting there like this, like looking at it, and she is like, What did you have anything for you came in here today? And I was like,
was she that nice though? I thought she was.
Oh no, she was very mean.
Tell us what she said.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember she was like, oh no. She said, was you chewing that nasty shit before you came in here?
I'm talking about your dip.
Talking about my dip. And I said, yeah. She said, how long ago? And I said, about 30 seconds before I came in the building when I threw it in the grass next to it. And she was like, have you drank anything? And I said, yeah, I've had a Monster. And she said, look at the screen and look at your heart rate. And it was like 204. And I'm like, instantly, I'm like, dude, I'm going to have a heart attack.
And so when you felt of your pulse.
I've not had a Monster since. I quit.
When you felt of your pulse, what was it doing? Like beating out of your wrist.
Oh, dude, it was like, it was nuts.
Dude, listen, Mark, don't be like Josh. Don't drink 3 Monsters a day. That just
don't be an idiot like me.
That's just asking for it, man.
I know.
Mike, listen, can we all give Mike? We won't be on here till Tuesday. The next time you see Mike on this screen, he will be 36 years old. Can we give him a happy birthday? Can we just tell Mike happy birthday? Listen, this man last night, I think Mike's heart rate was 204 last night when Vandy beat Kentucky. He was fired up in the group chat.
Woo!
I mean, he was losing it. May or may not have punched his wall. I don't know. It seems like something he would have done because he was so angry. And the Cats did play really bad. So he even said, appreciate it, dude. I was mad. So Mark is 6 foot 250 and drinks 3 a day, and his blood pressure is great. Hey, keep doing you, Mark. Mark, you keep drinking 3 a day until you can't.
Mike, you wasn't mad. You had gone beyond mad. You were livid.
Lures Alive. I'm wondering if Lures Alive makes. I wonder if he sells live bait or if he makes bait lures. Unless his name's Lures Alive, then give it up for his mom and dad. That's a great name. I watched Monster eat concrete. Even with a 3-day storm, it had it clean as new. There you go.
Eddie, that sounds exactly like something I do, man. I've tried to ease off on dipping, and I've tried to quit, and I've never successfully done it. I've been dipping since I was like 10 years old. He said I had a major head injury. While in the hospital, I slipped in a dip, and I thought my head was going to explode. Dude, I literally had my wisdom teeth cut out, and 3 days later was putting a dip in like an idiot.
Because I have a tooth that I need.
However, for you younger guys, dipping is really bad for you, and don't do it. I've
never dipped.
Wish I would have never started it. It was really dumb because now I can't stop. I just can't.
I've never dipped, never smoked a cigarette, and I have a bourbon every now and then. I just eat too much. Scott Butler would tell you that. Mike is still very upset. No way they should have lost to Vandy. Guys, it's 24 hours. Mike will still be upset until they win their next game. Mike is
he'll probably still be upset.
What's everyone's tobacco brand? I don't even. Red Man is one that when I was little, it seemed like all the older guys chewed Red Man.
Yeah.
They dipped Copenhagen or
What
Skull.
do I dip?
You dip Copenhagen?
No.
You dip a Longhorn.
Big tubs, man. I buy a big tub of
Longhorn wintergreen.
When I'm feeling bougie, I'll go buy a can of Grizzly.
Oh, WO doesn't drink anything but coffee and Diet Coke, but he's dipping some Grizzly,
right.
It looks like. I guess that could be Eddie.
It could be. One of the two.
Lures Alive says, God bless. Make sure y'all check out Lures Alive's daily streams. Well, Lures Alive, we appreciate you checking out Bass Fishing Live.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it.
Thursday night, it will be here. Mike's, and they'll get beat by Arkansas.
It's always with the negativity, Mike.
I don't think if Wallace isn't back, Kentucky will lose.
My computer's about to die.
I agree with that. So, well, listen, Josh's computer's about to die, and you guys are probably tired of hearing us talk. I've now been on here an hour, so I feel like I've got a complete show in. Mike says, I can't dip, never had a cigarette, never had alcohol, have chewed, smoked cigar. Mike's just about as clean cut as it is. No, that's not WO dipping. Sorry, WO. I didn't mean to offend you. I love you. So, listen, guys, we appreciate you. Sorry we didn't have a guest on. We really tried. It's probably going to be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think, here's the thing. We try to really listen to what people want. And so if it's bringing out packs of bait and talking about them, if it's giving some of this stuff away, I don't know.
Hey,
if it's bringing on pros, if it's breaking down lakes, if it's whatever it is, when we figure out what people want to see, that's what we do. And so we've been doing that on our other live show, which I want to grow both of these shows with more viewers, because the more it grows, the more opportunities we have to bring people on.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Be safe in the storms tomorrow if you're trying to get on the water. Eddie, hope your tournament goes well on Saturday. And we'll be back Tuesday night talking about some hunting, some trapping. We got some turkey callers that are going to be coming on soon.
Yes, sir.
We have we got some more guests I can't think of. I think I'm going to try to get John Collins, the coyote hunter, on soon.
I'll be reaching out to Bo Brooks here soon as well.
Bo Brooks, who is a phenomenal turkey caller, goose caller, duck caller. He's just a caller. Tennessee says he loved having Jordan Lee on. We're reaching out to guys. We're reaching out to Mike Iaconelli, Gerald Swindle. We're reaching out. Jay Shakur was Rookie of the Year last year, and we had him on. I'm telling you, from the moment he came on, he took off. He was like second in Rookie of the Year standings when he came on, and he soared to the Rookie of the Year. So, I would love for one day to be one of these guys has Eastern Outdoors on their chest. I would love that. Love it. But we have to make a lot of money, and we are not making any. So, but anyway, we appreciate y'all. Tight lines, Mark. Slow down on those monsters because we want to see you next Thursday. Michael Neal be a good one to get. You know what? Michael Neal would, but he fishes like every tournament out there.
He does.
That's why we had to get Keith Poche on before he started, because he's fishing both tours. So anyway, thank you guys. Check us out on Tuesday nights. Be here again next Thursday night. I almost guarantee we have a guest on next Thursday. And hey, we're posting content every day, man. Check it out. We have some videos I'm going to post in the morning, some reels, some other content. And thank y'all. Anything, Josh?
Tight lines, fellas. It's going to be a good weekend after this rain passes, if the lake don't flip upside down. So
I bet Kentucky Lake's going to rise just enough to flip bushes.
I'll be there.
Go Sunday. All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good night.